Hello, my name is Gergana Deenichina. I am certified Neurographica trainer and I work as life and business coach. Today I am going to present you a Neurographica model called SELF ESTEEM, created in the framework of our project Lady Leader under the Erasmus Plus program. This model is linked to the learning module SELF ESTEEM of the Lady Leader program. I recommend you to read the presentation on our website first, as there are many references to it in the model itself and in the drawing process. Now we start by writing the words. This time we will write twice for 1 minute. The first 1 minute we write words on the topic, what do I love? Are you ready? Start. 1 minute. What do I love? Stop. We begin the second minute of writing. Now our topic is what I can do, my qualities. Start. And stop. That's it. Now I would like to ask you to consider the words you have written and think about how you can contribute to your community by doing what you love and by using your skills and qualities. And also, who is in the community you want to contribute to? This is the context of our Lady Leader project. We start by drawing lines from one end of the sheet to the other end. And as you draw the lines, answer the questions I ask. And when and whatever answer comes to a question I ask, write it down on the sheet. We start with the lines. Think about which activities you do every day or most often motivate you the most. Write down your answers as keywords. If you feel like drawing some of the words as a circle somewhere on the drawing, just do it. Now think of a particular incident, something that happened when you experienced a very strong feeling of satisfaction. And think about what quality or skill you applied then. You can draw a circle if you feel it. I drew my first circle, which is my skill of speaking in front of people and giving these workshops. And I can tell you that 7-8 years ago I was terrified of that. You can keep drawing lines or start rounding where the lines cross already. And if you feel a quality or a skill of yours while I'm asking questions, draw it on the sheet. Think about a time when you have had great accomplishment and satisfaction. What qualities of yourself have you put in it? I'm giving you some time to think about the questions I've asked you as you draw and round. Anything that comes to mind to what you want to express as a quality or a skill of yours. Draw it as a circle and write it down on your list as well. Now imagine you are describing yourself to a not very close friend who doesn't know you very well. What words or phrases would you use to highlight your strengths and capabilities? Write down the words that come to you, and which one you decide to put on the sheet as a circle, put them. And in the meantime, just round out crosses. All the time we are drawing and talking, remember to drink water, breathe, and direct your attention to yourself at your now familiar already points of focus. What do you think while you draw? What feelings and emotions do you feel inside? What bodily sensations do you have? And what is the meaning of it all? Draw your qualities and skills based on the questions I have asked you and observe yourself. You may feel resistance or may feel again the satisfaction you felt when you experienced the incident. And experience the joy, the pride. You know the scale of pleasure, how many stages there are. Even the tiniest joy that you have experienced in manifesting your qualities and skills matters. Draw for a few minutes in silence around and observe yourself. I'm experiencing serious resistance and I need to change the markers, they don't write. If something similar happens to you, think about what it means to you and where it happens, on which figure. Very often we don't allow ourselves to see our skills and admit that we are actually very good. And we keep asking ourselves, am I good enough? It's called the imposter syndrome and it's very popular. And yet, very often, without realizing it, we get ourselves into this situation and like we say, I've only read this or I've studied this, but I don't know everything yet. I don't know enough. So how am I going to get out in front of other people? I felt that way in the beginning with Neurographica. And here it is, 4 years later. It has become one of my main and most favorite things to do. I use it in really all kinds of contexts. Surely you too have these qualities and skills, especially ones that aren't formally validated and you don't have degrees for, but you wonder if you can apply them or don't even think you can apply them. Like, for example, some people are great at stacking things, others can cook good, others can tell stories. You can tell what being able to cook has to do with leadership and community, or how being able to tell stories can help me in a context. And this is called knowledge and skill transfer. And I'd like to challenge you to identify skills of yours that you can use in different contexts that you never even thought you could use. With the following questions, I would like to stimulate you to bring to light possibilities, skills that you have not anticipated. For example, think of a time when you had to overcome a serious challenge. As you recall that moment and how you overcame that challenge, think about which of your personal qualities and skills you used there, in that particular situation, and write them down again. Now observe your emotions and your body. How do you feel? My next question is, what kind of feedback do you get from your friends? It can be very simple things like you cook very good, you sing very well, or whatever. For example, you are very quick at something. Think about your friends and their feedback. Consider also your hobbies and interests. What do you enjoy doing most? What personal qualities and skills do you put out there? You can draw extra lines, extra circles. One more question. Are there any particular roles and tasks that you often find yourself leading in your community? Or do you take the initiative and responsibility for them yourself? And what are your strengths in these particular situations? Draw more of your qualities and skills and round everything. And try to think of a situation where you felt in a state of flow. Everything goes smoothly and just happens. And you're totally absorbed and engaged in that activity. And remember feel how you felt there. What exactly were you doing? Explore what qualities and skills you manifested there. Now, before we move on to the next stage, give yourself a few seconds to take a good look at your drawing and turn the focus on yourself. Reflect on your drawing. How do you feel looking at it? By looking into your qualities and skills, how do you feel? Also, do an analysis for yourself of which of your qualities and skills are where on the drawing. How are they positioned in relation to the others, and how big is each of them in relation to the others? And if, while you're looking at them, you feel like drawing some more or enlarging some of those if they seem small, do that and then round everything. Now I suggest that you draw one big circle, which may be just a closed loop, not exactly a circle, and which will unite all these and many more of your qualities. Me in the context of these qualities and skills of mine, these of my roles. You can make this figure bigger, it can be also smaller, and when you look at it, think about what it means to you. Round off all the intersections. Did some new qualities and skills of yours come out during the drawing process that you didn't think of at the first when writing the words? Now move on to the next stage where we start coloring and integrating what we have drawn. And again, we will do it in the context of our Lady Leader project and our main topic. How can we use these qualities of ours in different contexts to benefit ourselves and our community, to benefit others? While you color, I will continue to ask questions. You color by feel and observe yourself all the time. What do you feel? How do your sensations change? Now we move forward with the question: how can you use these qualities of yours to benefit your community? First of all, as we said at the beginning, it's important to think about who is in your community. The community in which you want to use your qualities and skills may have changed in the process of drawing. You may already have a different answer to this question. And I really hope the community has gotten bigger. Which of your qualities do you want to use? Think about what specifically you can do. Going back to the fairy tale example, I can tell stories. I can even make up stories. I can, for example, gather children to tell them stories or gather elderly people to read to them. Or in another version we have in our project, I can stimulate the creative thinking of elderly people and inspire them to tell their stories. Think about your particular qualities and how you would like to and could use them. What you can specifically do. And if words like inspire, support come up, complement them with something specific to inspire who and what exactly. To support who, for what and how. Make it very specific so you can then easily turn it into action. Also, while we are at the integration stage, think about with whom. Who can be with you in these activities? To help you, to support you, to guide you. And while you are doing that, again, observe yourself. How do you feel? What does it feel like in the moment that you are already applying these qualities and skills of yours, recognized in a new context, for the benefit of your community? Satisfied and joyful, or not exactly? What's in it for you to put those skills to use? on all levels. Emotionally, materially, spiritually, bodily. You could organize a dance group, for example. You gather friends to dance. That would bring benefits on a purely bodily level as well. The next question is, what will this bring to others? Try to put yourself in their shoes, to see the situation from the side. We use this technique in the nonviolent communication model, if you remember. But there we were talking about an unsatisfactory situation. And now it's the opposite. We are observing something that we find joyfully inspiring. We do it for others, but what does it look like from the side, seen through their eyes? What does it bring to them? How does it make them feel? What do they experience? And how does it make you feel? Color in silence by reflecting on the questions I asked you and observe your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. Now, after this drawing, I feel even more inspired to keep working on the Lady Leader project. And I associate it with a lot of joy and pleasure. And I want more events, more initiatives, more people. As you continue to color, think also about who might complement you or what other qualities and skills are needed that you might not currently have or want to develop. But you can somehow attract them from the outside. It could be a specific person or just characteristics. You describe them. What kind of group do you need? What group do you want to perform in front of? Your thought can go in many different directions, and it's very important what it means to you. I'm finishing up the coloring for the moment to move on to the next stage. But somehow my good feeling is that there is more to add to this drawing. Like, for example, to make it more beautiful, to add light shadows. This is the so-called stylization stage. I will do it later. Now moving on to the field lines. To add energy to these intentions of ours, to what we want to do to develop and show our qualities and skills. The field lines are some thicker lines that can go along the paths already drawn or new paths. You can draw new paths. They are lines of energy that we let go and that help us to realize all that we thought and desired. I'm often asked, does what you draw really come true? Well, actually, it doesn't just come true. We make it come true with our purposeful actions after we have created the image in our head. We pull many new things from our subconscious here. We can get extra motivation, extra realizations, but in the end, we have the work to do. We can draw our Neurographica, lay on the couch and wait for everything to happen by itself. It doesn't work like that. So with the field lines, we help ourselves. And we know that we make the miracles happen, which I personally find extremely satisfying. We know what we actually want to do, what our strengths are, and what comes easily to us and brings us pleasure and satisfaction. I can say from my personal experience that these things happen much easier, much faster, because we put a lot of ourselves into it. We put in our energy, we put in our enthusiasm. By drawing Neurographica, we change our mindset and our focus, and we actually see opportunities and help around us that, if you think about it, have always been there. And the next time you say to yourself, wow, that's a miracle, think about whether that's really a miracle or whether it's already been there. Or, I see this guy every day, but now I pay attention to him. And you see that a miracle is actually something that is just there, existing in the field, in the potential. But we just haven't seen it, haven't focused our attention on it until now. And that's the definition of a miracle. Something happening that we didn't expect to happen. And it is only with a change of focus and attention that miracles begin to happen. Now look at your drawing and see what you want to fix on it. Which figure? It could be a quality, it could be you. You could generalize, you could draw something else. You could draw an event as an example. What do you want to fix? Looking at my drawing, I have almost fixed myself with these qualities and skills of mine. Oh, qualities that will continue this project most likely. and something else unexpected by me so far. It will be different for each of you. See it, feel it, and fix it. This stage I can say my drawing is ready, and here I will ask the last question, which is quite specific. What exactly are you going to do? What will be your next step next week? It could be a tiny steps where you express your skills, your increased self-esteem out in your community. Think about one specific, even if it's very small, step next week. Thank you for being together.